Wheaton Precious Metals reports first production from its cobalt stream. I'm with CEO Randy Smallwood. Randy, welcome to Kitco.
Always a pleasure, Michael. Good to see you.
Randy, can you highlight the first quarter?
Oh, it's a good, strong quarter. We had a little bit lighter gold production out of Smallwood for all the right reasons, but good, strong production from Peñasquito on the silver side to make up for that, and brought in our first cobalt production from the Voisey's Bay operation. So a good, strong start to the year. It sets us up very well for meeting our objectives for the year.
Randy, could you talk a little bit about that shortfall with gold and how you're setting yourself up for the rest of the year?
Well, look, strong support of Vale. The Salobo mine, of course, had a couple of safety incidents in the fourth quarter of last year, and so they from the maintenance side, these happened in the maintenance area. So they basically did a safety reset there. Real strong focus on trying to achieve zero harm. And so we're in full support of all the efforts from Vale in terms of trying to make sure that the Salobo mine is operated in a safe and zero harm manner, and part of that is making sure that there's a good, strong safety focus. And so we saw some maintenance impacts in the first quarter, and that's what brought our gold, a little bit lower gold production. So I would argue that that's for the right reason.
Highlight of the quarter must have been the Santo Domingo deal.
Yeah, definitely. It's an asset that we went in a little bit skeptical on, but the more we looked at it, the more we liked it. And it is a good, strong asset. It's a healthy first quartile producer in the copper space, and it's got all sorts of upside potential even beyond as Capstone gets in there. And so we're really excited about partnering with Capstone on this one.
You mentioned cobalt. Can you talk a little bit more?
Yeah, first production from the Voisey's Bay operation. It is our first venture outside of precious metals, and likely going to be our only. It is a very unique asset in the sense that Voisey's Bay produces some of the cleanest, greenest, most socially responsible, most environmentally sound cobalt in the world. And so having this in our portfolio is something that we're quite happy with, but we are not looking for other cobalt streams. We are focused on precious metals. It has been a good start from a production perspective. We actually picked up a bunch of working inventory as part of the quarter when the contract came on. This is a very vertically integrated system where not only do we have exposure to the mine, but also the smelter down at Long Harbor. And so really good, strong production numbers out of Voisey's Bay for this first quarter as we build up our working inventory. Our sales were a little bit light, but as expected, it is our first quarter of selling cobalt, and expect this thing to just drop into the portfolio very nicely.
Can you talk a bit about that business? Because EV materials have been just really taking off. You just see the moves that have happened with cobalt and nickel, and then just the anticipated demand. Does something like does a streaming and royalty model work for the EV material space? And I guess also there's also would have to be alignment with what's happening at Wheaton Precious Metals.
Definitely. I mean, and we've always been very committed towards the sustainability side. It's part of running a successful business, and so social license, which has definitely been broadened out, but social license has always been an integral part of our company. It's been an integral part of my business activities for my entire career. The EV metals and minerals, there's definitely a demand for that. And we can see that in terms of copper demand, nickel demand, lithium, cobalt, all the way across the spectrum. There's going to be definitely much higher consumption rates required around the world in some of these EV materials. And we're seeing that in pricing in terms of commodity prices right now. From a streaming perspective, a lot of those materials are produced as a core product, a primary product, and so you can put streams in place, but they're not as effective. They're not as value creating as when you're doing byproduct streams. And so our continued focus at Wheaton is as people build copper mines and nickel mines. We're still adamant in terms of trying to help finance that growth by purchasing the non-core byproduct silver and gold. So our focus is going to remain precious metals. There are a couple of companies that are stepping into the space on the EV side, but we haven't seen any big success on that front yet.
I'm going to my favorite part of the interview, Randy. You're always good at modeling mining cycles. Where are we right now?
Well, okay. There's the precious metals industry where we're seeing good healthy prices and healthy returns, and all the precious metal companies, at least those that are producing, are generating really good cash flows and profits. And so we don't see a lot of space in there. Maybe at some of the juniors that are sort of building their first mine, etc., where we can provide some support. But it is a good, healthy market. But in terms of commodity prices, I still see some good strength. I think what we've seen here is a very firm foundation built in gold prices at least, and we're seeing a good strength moving up now. In the base metal market, the base metal industry has awoken from a long slumber. It's been many years since we've seen base metal prices like we have right now. We're seeing all-time highs now in copper. I fully expect that nickel and lead and zinc are going to chase the same path as the world's demand for these commodities increases, and the challenges and the costs of finding new mines and building new mines also increases. All of that drives towards increased opportunity, and so we're really seeing the start of a new investment cycle in the base metal space, and that's one of the reasons why we at Wheaton are as busy as we've ever been. We've got more opportunities in front of us right now than we've seen in a long time, and the bulk of those are funding base metal opportunities by buying their non-core precious metals byproduct.
You mentioned that EV material space. If you're producing a nickel or producing copper, then that's going to be a kind of a primary base metal. But what would be the types of metals that might work or that might fit, more naturally? There might be more opportunity.
Well, for me, I've always been very bullish silver. Silver just has some attributes that make it very unique and very desirable, especially in today's world with an increasing focus on lowering our carbon footprint. Silver conducts electricity more efficiently, more effectively than any other metal, any other noble metal. And so the demand for silver, the demand for efficiencies, the demand for less waste, silver is going to play a role in that. And you go and look at, and especially in a mobile world, as we're seeing right now, you want batteries to last longer. You want higher processing power on your Apple Watch or your iPhone or your electric vehicle. Silver plays a role in making sure that happens. And so, and in my eyes, silver is got some real opportunity here. With the changes that we're seeing in today's world, silver is going to play and we've seen that. We've seen increasing industrial demand for silver all the way along, and so it's just an added fundamental that really gives me. I'm excited about where silver can go.
How's gold looking right now? We had a bit of a lift. We've got into the 1800s, but what do you see for the rest of the year?
Well, I really do think that what we've seen here is a bit of the phrase I use is a pandemic bump, where last year we saw gold reach record highs in the face of the uncertainty around the pandemic. But as confidence has come back in terms of our ability as a society to weather this pandemic and come through it, gold has peeled back a bit. And I think it's dropped down to another, sort of a new foundation level. But if you go back to 2000 or 2002, when you saw gold trading at $300 an ounce, we have been on a constant uptrend in gold prices ever since then. And I think that's what we've now caught, we're back down to, is that the pandemic has, I'm not going to say it's been priced out. I still think there's probably a bit of risk related to this pandemic. And by no means are we finished dealing with this. You look at places around the world like India and such, and we know we've still got a lot of challenges here to work through. But when it comes to where gold is, I think we've again established a very firm foundation over the last couple of months, and now we're going to see some good, strong continued upward trend that we've been seeing for 20 years now.
Crypto has been stealing a little bit of gold's thunder. Do precious metals need to do a little bit better marketing on this?
Well, and as chair of the World Gold Council, we have stepped up our marketing on that front, but we don't compete with crypto. Crypto is incredibly volatile. It's very speculative. We're already seeing a bit of a switch away from Bitcoin into other commodities or other cryptocurrencies, and there's nothing long term about crypto. It's an incredibly volatile space, and so I would argue, and I think logic says that gold is there to counter the risk that comes with products like cryptocurrencies. And so, everyone, I think there's no doubt it's had a bit of an impact. And I think where it's had a bit of an impact is the very risk-friendly investors, the marginal players in the gold space that are looking for for that volatility, for that speculative nature. And gold itself is a very stable platform that has been around for thousands of years, and is there to counter products like cryptos. So there's no doubt, it's typically those that have a lot of crypto that are telling you that it's replacing gold. They need to do that because they need to bring in new investors to support their value thesis on crypto. But it's only those that own a lot of crypto that are telling you how good it is and how it's like gold.
Randy Smallwood, thanks for speaking with Kitco.
Always a pleasure, Michael.
I'm with CEO Randy Smallwood. My name's Michael McRae, and you are watching Kitco Mining.